Well, here we are again.
Another one?
Another one.
I've used TikTok 2 times in the title before, so third time can't hurt. And as long as I have some sort of controversial title, the video will get views. So let's aim for number 5, shall we? Today we're going to jump into the controversial topic that is whether TikTok should be banned or not. Now before we get started, let's acknowledge that there are both good and bad sides to TikTok. I'm not going to make the same mistake twice where I don't give the other side of the argument enough credit. So let's look at the reasons why people argue for its ban, and also look at the aspects that shouldn't be overlooked. First, let's look at the not so good stuff on TikTok that makes me want to blind myself with bleach. TikTok has gained a reputation for being a breeding ground for the wastes of space known as fuckboys. The infamous but well-known group of Americans in their 20s trying to make themselves look sexy for young female audiences. These saddos will use any sort of popular song, popular sound, viral dance, or any sort of movement of their pelvic area to gain attention.
Disgusting!
One main example I'd like to use here is the Lopez brothers. They basically fit every description of a fuckboy you can get, using popular songs, sounds, and dancing. And moving their pelvic area every 2 seconds like they've been dosed with Viagra. And like I mentioned before, fuckboy audiences tend to be young females. But I'm sure nothing bad can happen with that. I'm sure people like the Lopez brothers are really responsible people. Nothing bad will ever happen here. Oh wait. The end of 2022 saw the sudden popularity and growth of videos known as red pill content. And I don't know if TikTok is where this type of content originated, but it sure as hell made it popular, so I'm blaming it. It's basically a bunch of guys talking about working out and how to be a gym bro. Flexing their wealth and telling you that you can become a millionaire at 13. All you really need to do is enroll in their $300 course. And then there are some guys that simply just put shitty OnlyFans models on their podcast to make all women look like pieces of shit, while making a bunch of young boys creep closer to being either incels or misogynistic. The type of content doesn't have the same reach as it did back in its prime, but even now there are still a bunch of young boys being brainwashed by a bunch of this. The most well-known guy that did this type of content was Andrew Tate. Basically everyone knows his name by this point. He became popular on TikTok in 2022, and he was mainly talking about how you need to work out or start investing so that you can provide for a family and get women to notice you. There was even one point where he said you shouldn't study in school because it's a waste of time.
You study hard, you can be a doctor. Go study medicine. Study, study, study. Give up your whole life in school. Then you get to be a doctor. You can't even buy a motherfucking sports car. You see a man like me at 3 o'clock on a Tuesday morning at a gas station in a $400,000 sports car. I get out of the Lambo, there's a bitch in the front. I get out and putting gas in. Do you look at me and go, he studied really hard in school? You must break the rules to make money. Doctors have followed the rules their whole lives and they're driving Citroens.
I guess cars are what makes you wealthy now?
During COVID, when everyone was complaining that they went broke, I made so much fucking money. You would not believe the amount of money I made. We're talking about inflation being out of control. It's because they're printing trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars. It has to go somewhere. Now, they try their very best to keep it amongst the elites, and they do that. But if you're anywhere near the elite, you get money, right? If there's a rainstorm, all you have to do is walk outside, you're gonna get wet. The difference between me and everyone else is I know where the door is to walk outside. Everyone else is just fucking floundering around the room, looking on the floor for pennies, like a jackass, right?
Now, I think Andrew Tate is a very clever man. He clearly knows that talking about this stuff is making gym bros and guys think he's talking facts. And while it's a good idea to work out, trust me, you probably should work out some point in your life. You don't want to end up like a Discord mod, do you? It's also a good idea to try and earn money some point in your life, otherwise you're going to probably end up homeless. The problem with him was he was very misogynistic.
And I watched a woman crash. She pulled out at a junction, turned, and somehow, I can't even explain to you how ridiculous this was. She came up, she pulled out of a junction, turned to turn right, and instead of just turning right, she did some kind of U-turn back into traffic and crashed. It didn't make any human sense. I can't explain it to you in a way that makes sense. I know you're sitting there thinking, no, that can't be right. No, that's literally what she did. Instead of just turning right and going on her way, she comes and just crashes into this car. Female.
He kind of just paved the way for other red pill content to just make women look like shit. And while I've been hurt by girls in the past, I just moved on. I don't despise them with all my being. It's not that hard to do. I get that if you're angry, it's hard to let go of feelings that you've felt. But honestly, if you just meet new people, make new friends, move on, it's honestly so much easier and less pain towards yourself. I could have saved so much pain in my brain if I just moved on quicker. I'm a different person now. I don't really need to worry about things like this. And if there is some sort of girl out there for me, then I'll find her at my own pace. I don't need some bald guy on the internet wearing shades to tell me what to do with my decisions with girls. Recording this before Valentine's Day is extremely ironic right now, isn't it? Single! Now, all of that aside, Tate is a very successful man. I'll probably never even come close to his type of financial gain. I just find it weird how he had to put his misogynistic views on the internet. I don't know if it was a deliberate choice or if it was just by accident and then he realised that it was working. But at the same time, he's a millionaire. Surely he could have just been doing rich guy shit in Romania. Or maybe he just buys another 12 Bugattis. Whatever he wants to do, I'm not questioning him. He's much richer than me and I frankly just don't care. Either way, no actual hate towards Tate because he could probably knock me out with one kick. Just stating a few things that pretty much led to red pill content, and it's kind of his fault. I also wanted to talk about the Whatever podcast, but unfortunately this section is getting a little bit lengthy, so I recommend watching Jarvis Johnson's video on the Whatever podcast. It's a good video. I recommend you watch it after watching this video. I'll put it in the description below so you can watch it later. I just died on your arms tonight. TikTok has been no stranger to controversies. From challenges that encourage stupid shit to happen to someone literally killing themselves on a live stream because of false allegations. There are many instances where TikTok probably should have been banned for these controversies, and people still debate about whether TikTok's a responsible platform or not. And honestly, I don't blame them considering these controversies I'm about to mention. Sometimes these controversies come from popular trends. For example, back in August of 2020, someone thought of a completely harmless trend where you would act as a victim of the fucking Holocaust. What the fuck? The Holocaust isn't something you should use for personal gain or clout on any social media platform. What the fuck is wrong with these people? And that's only one of the 4 controversies I'm mentioning right now. For some reason, a bunch of people fake things on TikTok. And I don't mean Zach King's type of illusions. I mean straight up faking a disorder. First there's Tix and Roses. She faked having Tourette's syndrome. And when people tried to say it was fake, she showed a doctor's form that she got from her assigned doctor. And then when people very clearly proved it was fake, that's when things started to crumble for her. The thing I find most disgusting about her is the fact that she was only doing this to try and promote her business. She wasn't getting very many customers, so she decided to fake a disorder on a social media platform just to get more business. That is just disgusting. She's kind of disappeared off the internet now ever since she was proven to be a fraud. And I'm sure she's a lovely woman. I don't want to start any beef there. But that is just so... it's vile. And then there are a bunch of people who fake these disorders that I'm going to list now. Autism, ADHD, PTSD, DID, or split personality disorder, OCD, which is basically just obsessive thoughts and weird compulsory behavior, and schizophrenia. There are probably many more disorders people have faked, but if I tried naming them all, we'd be here until 2025. I mentioned it with the Lopez brothers earlier, and for good reason. For some unknown reason, there's a massive amount of groomers and pedos on TikTok. It's almost like they've got the most out of any social media platform. Except maybe Twitter. It's like some sort of genetic code or contract that states, "Warning, you have a 25% chance of becoming a pedo/groomer. Are you sure you want to become a TikToker?" Or something like that. And there are even some popular groomers/pedos that are still active to this day. I don't understand how TikTok didn't ban a few of these guys. And the fact that they're still getting views even after the allegations is what shocks me. And those are the few that most people will recognise anyway. There are probably a lot more, but I'm not going to go into those now. I'm going to quickly gloss over these because either you've seen them before or it just became really popular that basically everybody had seen it. And even if you don't have TikTok, people have posted these things to other platforms to just slander people for doing this extremely stupid stuff. So whether it's dancing over your barely alive child, living lovely, or pissing off Muslims by dancing to a Quran verse. If you're going to do a TikTok career where you just dance, don't do dumb shit. I really feel like I shouldn't have to explain that, but apparently some people on TikTok can't get that through their thick skulls.
Oh my god!
I'm pretty sure I've shown enough examples of why people want TikTok banned, and I'm trying not to make this a one-sided argument video again. God, I'm getting flashbacks. So let's get into the parts of TikTok that I actually consider good. Many users have found a creative outlet on the platform, showcasing their talents and just spreading stories to millions to entertain them. TikTok has also given smaller communities the chance to make a wider audience. And one of the main things that has kept many users active on TikTok is music. Now, I'm not going to go into the music part too much because that didn't work well for me last time, but I'll sum it up in an easy way to understand. Take Bella Porch's most popular video and remove the audio. What do you get? Just a random girl in her 20s basically moving her face with a face tracker. It certainly lacks something that can make a video trendy, and that's the music. Here's another example. Take that stupid cat meme. If you were to remove the music from that, it would just be a cat swinging its head. It's definitely cute, but not popular enough or viral enough to get into the leagues that the video is in now. Music helps short videos go into the algorithm. If they didn't have music, then the algorithm might not pick it up as much, especially on TikTok. Instagram sort of has a similar feature, but one of TikTok's main parts of the algorithm is the audio that you use in it. So when you see a bunch of popular videos with popular songs in them, that's when you understand why they are popular. And then there are actual artists on TikTok that just want to promote their music. And I hate TikTok a lot, but even I find some of the artists on TikTok actually good. I can't play any of the music, but I'll list a few good examples right now. Overall, not bad. TikTok has a very smart feature that is one of the main sort of ways to find videos for the app. And you'd really wonder why other social media platforms don't use this type of way to get content that you want. But then you also realize that it's kind of just tracking your data and your own personal life. The way it works is that TikTok gains access to your phone's microphone. Even if your phone is off, say you were talking about your favorite game, movie, music, any sort of thing you can think of, as long as you're talking about it near your phone, TikTok will take that information, and then when you open TikTok, just scroll around 10 times and you'll see more and more videos of the thing you were talking about earlier. There was a guy that did an experiment about this to prove it as well. I can't really show it to you, so just go Google it. It's a cool feature, especially if there's a certain sort of fixation that you only have for like 1 hour and then you never mention it again. But it's also a little bit freaky. Imagine if on Instagram you saw this reel of, what's a sort of good example of Instagram reels? A family of 4 getting run over by a truck, and you just start talking about a family of 4 getting run over by a truck. And then later, Instagram, after a few swipes, just shows you more and more families getting run over by trucks. To be honest, Instagram would probably laugh at that even more, which is also a little bit concerning, but it's Instagram, so I'm not going to challenge it because I just really wouldn't want to, man. Instagram is a scary place. I'd also be a little bit worried that Instagram is listening to me. But at the same time, Instagram is developed by America and not China, so it's a little less worrying. That was a joke. Anyway, let's move on before China actually does try to track me. That was also a joke. Now, I hate TikTok. There's a lot of good stuff on it, but there's so much bad stuff on the platform that I think should just be banned. And while I hate TikTok with all my being, I don't think it should be banned. There's a really easy solution to the problem. Just ban all the bad stuff on TikTok and get the actually funny stuff from TikTok's Prime back. Prime TikTok was something else. It was around mid-2019 to mid-2020, and it was actually a decent app that was funny. There were less shitty dances and boys around. It was just a fun app with fun people just making stupid jokes or memes. Now, I didn't have TikTok at that point. I was around 10 to 11, but I was able to experience Prime TikTok firsthand with the people around me in school, and it was generally just funny. And when I got Instagram over a year ago, it kind of had the same feeling. And then TikTok kind of just went downhill after quarantine. To be honest, there's not much hope that TikTok can go back to its prime. People can pray, but I think the people that run TikTok have kind of dialed back on the bullying and making fun of people a bit. If we still had the type of prime TikTok bullying that was happening back then, TikTok would be on the same level as Instagram now. So I don't see much chance of it happening. Prime TikTok, it was good, but unfortunately we're not going to see it again. In conclusion, TikTok shouldn't be fully banned. People have to consider the good and bad aspects of the app. If anything, we should just hold TikTok accountable and just try and promote the message to make TikTok a safer place. I know that fuckboys and shitty dances aren't harming anyone in any way, apart from minors, but even so, it's not really a safe platform, is it? If I ever see a fuckboy on Instagram, I'll probably just delete the app right then and there. But at the same time, Instagram doesn't take all the information on my phone, does it? So yeah, it's a really easy solution. Hopefully TikTok can really just do something. And that's the video right there. It's a bit controversial to be wearing this green hoodie again after what happened with a certain video. But look, it's similar to a whiteboard stain. You can kind of rub it off, but it won't be fully gone. I just kind of have to move on and write new stuff over it. And if people still want to try and bully me in the future about it, then okay. I just won't care. If you really have to go back into someone's past to try and embarrass them, then it's a bit pathetic, really. This video has kind of been put on delay a little bit. I know a lot of people were hoping for a main video in January, but if you haven't seen the community post, then I'd understand why you'd be a bit confused. Basically, I just had to take a bit of time off to try and work on a bigger project I'd been working on. Zedster 360 Music was what the third channel was originally called, but after realising I wasn't very consistent with it, I changed it to Zedster 360 Gaming. I just enjoy playing video games, so I thought it'd be an easy solution, and while CapCut, my video editor, crashed around 25,000 times, I still eventually got it done. I would appreciate it if you just checked the video out. It's around 40 minutes long, so only watch it if you actually have that amount of time. I'm not going to try and spoil anything for it now, but if you don't know who Tintin is, then frankly, I don't know what you're on. I have it right here. It's really not that hard. Though to be honest, I guess most people don't read books anymore, do they? Anyway, enough of that. If this video does well because of the controversial title, then we'll see if the other video that I've mentioned will blow up. Other than that, maybe I'll get some controversial sort of flaming comments. Honestly, it's just a waiting game at this point. And if you really can't think of anything nice to say in the comments if this video is a bit of a controversial thing for you, then just move on. You're really just wasting your own time and I really won't care. But at the same time, I just want to kind of keep my channel a sort of friendly-ish place. I only bully people that I consider stupid. Hang on, I probably shouldn't put that in now, should I? I don't bully anyone at all. I don't know what people are saying about that. Honestly, my place is a really nice and peaceful platform, is what I would say if I was a complete lunatic. Anyway, enough kaflabble. I know you guys have somewhere else to go to. So until next time, see you in the future.